Hi, everyone. Welcome to Travel Time. I'm Serina Bowles from the Travel Agent Next Door, and I'm doing this series to connect my clients with my friends in the industry, the people that I like to recommend and like to work with whenever we are putting your vacations together. I really think it's important to choose the right people to make sure that your vacations are everything that you want them to be. So today I'm very excited because we are going to be talking to my friend Mitch from Royal Caribbean Cruises and hear all about his inside perspective on cruise life as well as the products that Royal Caribbean offers. So welcome, Mitch. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you, Serena. So happy to be here.
That is awesome. So before we get going too far, could you give us just a little bit of like background information about you and sort of your role at Royal Caribbean as well as your experience and journey so far?
Yeah, I would love to. So first of all, I'm celebrating 22 years at Royal Caribbean, soon to be actually 23 years. So I have been with Royal Caribbean since 2004. I worked on board Royal Caribbean ships for almost 19 years. And it was a really interesting journey. I'd never been on a cruise before, but I wanted to travel and I thought that would be a great way. And I got very lucky and interviewed with Royal Caribbean, got the job, and was off on a ship. And you know, you do one contract and it turns into almost 19 years and now almost 23 years. Being able to travel around the world and do all kinds of amazing jobs on board, including being a cruise director for 12 years. And for people that have never cruised before, it's kind of like the Love Boat. It's like Julie. I was running the entertainment on the ship, and it was just a great experience getting to meet so many awesome people.
That's great. Did you have a video that we can show everyone about Royal Caribbean?
Yeah, I think that we'll start with a video just to give everyone a quick update of what Royal Caribbean has become in 50-something years that it's been around. So let's take a look.
Okay, sounds good. That was so great. Thanks for sharing that with everyone. So for clients who have never experienced a Royal Caribbean cruise before, can you give us a little bit of an overview about the product, sort of like what like the overall vibe is and like what the ideal sort of client is for Royal Caribbean cruises?
Sure. Well, Royal Caribbean has been very fortunate to become the largest cruise brand on the planet, with 30 ships sailing currently right now all over the world, 22 alone just in the Caribbean. And we are really at Royal Caribbean, we like to inspire adventure. So we are offering the world's greatest family vacations, and we also are offering great cruises for people that love adventure. So our ships are known to be the innovators in the industry. And truly, if you're a couple that loves adventure, nightlife, entertainment, or a family, whether it's multi-generational, you're going to find everything you need for the best family vacation on our ships.
That's great. What are you seeing in terms of like travel trends lately? Where are people booking more often these days?
Well, we're known for the Caribbean, and like I said, we have so many ships just in the Caribbean. That is like kind of like a default for everybody, which is a great option. But I think what's really been popular the last little while is Europe. And Europe has so many great choices because we have multiple classes of ships at Royal Caribbean. In fact, 7 different, which is like sizes. So depending on if it's a small ship, a medium ship, or the largest cruise ships in the world. So depending on what experience you want, Europe's great. I kind of talk about it like a beer or a wine flight, where you're going to be able to sample a couple different ports, and then you're going to be able to travel to these places in the span of 7 days or longer that you'd never be able to do normally. And I would say the exact same thing about Asia, because you're not going to you'd be able to travel to all these different places in the span of 7 to 12 days, but you can do it on a ship. And that's what a lot of people have been doing lately outside of the go-to Caribbean.
Yeah, that's I did a Mediterranean cruise last year with Royal Caribbean and loved it. It it was a way to sort of knock off, like 5 or 6 different destinations that I might not have like gone and done like a full week at each destination, but being able to see those different ports and spend the day there, that I really enjoyed that. It was a great way to do it.
Yeah.
So I send a lot of families that are sort of like multi-gen families who are looking to, sometimes they have like a big milestone or a birthday or a retirement, or sometimes it's just, a big Christmas family gift that they're all traveling together. I really find that Royal Caribbean caters well to sort of that multi-gen client. What do you find is are sort of like the perks of doing a multi-gen trip with the Royal Caribbean?
Yeah, it's a great option. In fact, 2 out of 3 every guest are celebrating something at Royal Caribbean. It's amazing. So essentially, whatever you're celebrating, you can celebrate it on board, and it's even better with friends and family. So especially if you consider like a short getaway for a long weekend, or up to 5 or 6, 7 days, going to Perfect Day Coco Cay, our private destination. You can do everything you want to do, and there is truly something for everybody on board our ship. So you talked about the multi-gen. It is true. For example, every ship has an orchestra, but every ship, that same ship might have water slides for the younger demographic. And so, there's always things to do together. Maybe they go watch the aqua show, and then they can all do their own things. So we find that, with groups, what we call like a group sailing, this is just exploding in popularity. It is our #1 kind of thing right now. So it is a really cool option to consider with your friends and family, whether it is one of those big milestones, just because there's so much to do, and there's so many things to do on the ship. I always used to say, as a cruise director, if you are bored at Royal Caribbean, it's because you're boring. It's impossible. So you'll always find something really fun to do, no matter how old you are. So yeah, great suggestion. And even better is if you have an amazing travel expert such as Serina, who can help you organize these groups, because this is the part where it gets tricky to do it on your own. Someone with all the experience can help you make it happen.
Yeah, no, that is very true. So speaking of your time as a cruise director, you must have a lot of like insider information and like tips. Like, do you have any information or tips, like especially for first-time cruisers who might not be familiar with what life on board is like?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many great things we can talk about, and I'll just go right back to what I said before: is having someone that you can go to. So of course, I mean that people can go to talk about, that's been on Royal Caribbean, that knows the product, that's been with their family and by themselves, or with the friends. That is one of the best parts, because they have questions, they can come back to you, and you're going to be able to help guide them along the way. When it comes to your first cruise, most important thing is just trying to figure out where you want to go, right? What destination do you want to go to? What time of year do you want to go? And those are the great things that you're going to be able to help with. For me, my best advice is, planning in advance. I mean, you don't have to plan one thing at all in advance. You could just show up. However, it is nice to be able to plan certain things, excursions that you'd like to do, and the destinations, the main events that you'd like to do. Lock in your dining time, the shows that you want to see, and then everything kind of builds from there. But when you talked about, one of the other perks and benefits, I would say, is, talking to you about it, because, with these special groups and benefits that you have, you can lock in the price. There's all kinds of great options for families. Kids sail free, teen sail free, third and fourth guest sail free. There's certain things that you might not know about until you check with an expert, and that's why we work so well together.
Yes, no, I agree. And one of the things that I really like about our relationship with Royal Caribbean is because of the sort of like extra perks that are often available, like whether that's extra onboard credit or things like that. And especially I find just having the support of the Royal Caribbean team behind us as well. Like hiccups happen from time to time, and it really means a lot to me, and by association to my clients as well, that I can pick up the phone, call you, and say, hey, I'm having this issue. And I remember I was talking to Nate from Royal Caribbean from like the beaches of Curacao a few months ago, because we had a little hiccup with one of my clients, and literally called him from the beach, and I said, I can't get to my computer, I'm in the middle of the site inspection. And like within 20 minutes he had it fixed. He made some magic phone call and got it fixed. So having that support from the team also is really beneficial for sure. So my clients often ask me as well, like whenever they say, they know they want to go on a cruise, but there's so many different options out there, so many different cruise lines, so many different ways that people operate their cruises and stuff. What would you say is sort of like the biggest way that the Royal Caribbean stands apart from everyone else?
I would say we are the industry leaders in innovation. So, go back to the very beginning of cruising. We were the first cruise line to build a mega ship, which is like a baby ship considered now these days. We were the first cruise line to put balconies on cruise ships. We were the first and still the only to put ice skating rinks, aqua theaters. We kind of raised the bar of what's possible of a cruise, and many people don't really even know what that even is. So not only do we have the biggest ships in the world, we have our own private destinations. So what really sets us apart is all of this continual improvement. We just want to, be the best that we can for our guests. And part of that is that we are very fortunate to have the highest loyalty in the entire industry. And that is because we listen, and we continue to listen, and we continue to build the ships that our guests want. And that's why they keep coming back. So I think that's part of it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I definitely see that loyalty in my clients as well. Once they do a Royal Caribbean cruise and they see the difference in the experience, not only just with the staff, which are all incredible, but also with the experiences that are on board that they don't get on other ships, that creates that loyalty, and they don't want to go to on any other cruises after that.
I appreciate you saying that, and it's like really important to me because I was a crew member for almost 19 years. So we talk about the ships. The ships are so incredible, the best ships in the world. All these cool features, but you can't do it without the crew members from over 80 countries around the world. That is what truly sets us apart.
Yes, 100% for sure. So before I let you go, I was going to ask you a couple of questions just for you as well. Just I'm always interested to know, just like personally, if you could hop on a plane tomorrow and go anywhere in the world, visit any destination, where would you be going and why?
I would probably be going to our newest ship because I work
Mm-hmm.
on board. So I was always obsessed with, going on the new ships and being a part of all the exciting stuff. And that's Legend of the Sea, sailing out of Barcelona or Rome. And also because I was just looking on Instagram, and my friend, who's the cruise director, Mercedes, just opened America's Got Talent last night on the ship. And I do have a little FOMO because I want to see that show.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh yeah, that sounds awesome. Okay, last question. What is one of your favorite travel memories of a trip that you've gone on?
I think one of my favorite travel memories of a trip that I went on, I mean, I could list, there's so many, but I think what I'll go with is our sister brand, because I've talked about Royal Caribbean the whole time. So let's talk about our sister brand, Silversea. I did the trip of a lifetime to Antarctica.
Oh wow.
Last year over New Year's and Christmas, and it was just absolutely amazing. So that was one of my bucket list trips, and Royal Caribbean doesn't go there, so I couldn't go. So I went.
Yeah, no, that's on my bucket list as well, especially with Silverseas. So that is amazing. Thank you so much again, Mitch, for being with us today and sharing some of your insight and more information about Royal Caribbean cruises. And for anyone who is watching this, if you are interested in a cruise or any other travel, please reach out to me and I would be happy to help you. Thanks again, Mitch.
Thanks, Serina.